we're gonna start with a simple 3-strand braid. No French braiding on this because there is a couple techniques which we're gonna talk about now. Actually, I'm just gonna talk about one right now that I find really help you to keep control of your braid and to keep it tight in the end. Okay, so you really want to get used to this motion, the palm of your hand and then the flip. So I have 2 in this hand, pardon my shaking, I'm fine, it's normal. So I've got 1 in this hand and 2 in this hand. Okay, so my hand that has 2 is going to be my flipper. Okay, so you really want to get used to just going from here, these 2 strands, and flip that hand. Then that strand that is now in the middle, you will grab with your opposite middle finger and return back to your start. You always want to come back to palms up. Now my left hand has my 2, so that's my flipper. So my 2 will just flip. I'll just go from palm up, palm down. I will use my other hand, my middle finger, or all your other fingers, but I really just use my middle finger. And I will stick it in that hole and grab it. Flip back. And as I flip back, I take this strand into my big gun hold, I guess you could call it. Okay, so I'm back in my base position, palms up. So my twofer, my 2 hand, is gonna flip. Grab it with the middle finger, flip it back. Okay, notice I'm not down at the bottom doing this. That's one of the #1 things that people do that keeps their braid like this, right? It's really, really loose. You want to keep it up at the top as close to, this is my tip #2, especially for French braiding, almost like your knuckles on the back side of your hand want to be touching the head at all times. Okay, so if you can feel your hands close to that head, or you feel like, oh man, I really don't have a lot of space to work, that's probably where you want to be. You can give yourself a little bit more space for now while you're getting used to it, but I wouldn't go 2 inches down. I would go less than 1 inch away from the base of the skull. Okay, so we've got 1, we've got 2. We're just gonna flip, grab with the middle finger, switch your hands over here. We're switching to our gun and flip back. You can switch to your gun after you flip back if that's more comfortable for you, so I'll show that now. You go from your 2 hand, flip it, grab it, and instead of switching right here, you can flip that hand back around and then put it by where your thumb is. And if you're close, I mean, I can really let go of this and it's kind of just dangling, right? And it's not gonna get too loose because this hand is really close, so I can just swoop under and grab that strand again and kind of just tug and pull tight. Okay, so each stitch, so a stitch in a braid is a crossover. So it's one of these outside little bumps, I guess you could call them, is called a stitch. So each time you stitch, you're gonna flip it. Flip, grab, rotate back. Flip, grab, rotate back. Flip, grab, rotate back. Flip, grab, rotate back. There's always a little hole, so if I'm really super close, obviously there's no hole, so I do need to make sure I have enough space to grab a hole and flip, flip, and grab, flip, and grab, flip, grab, flip, grab, flip, grab, flip, grab. So probably, many of you are probably already doing that if you weren't aware that you were. There's multiple ways to French braid, by the way. This is not the right way. This is just the way that I do it and have found works for me. A lot of people will braid. I honestly can't even think of a different way to braid right now. I don't know. The #1 mistake is not holding close enough to the head. Okay, so that flip, right, just allows you to stay close and allows you the use of all your fingers. Okay, so for French braiding, I'm gonna show you kind of where you probably wanna hold your fingers. A lot of people tend to release on their French braid. I don't release because it causes it to get looser for me personally, okay? So, by the way, this is Amelia, so if I say her name, That's just, I'm not weird. She actually has a name on her head. She freaks Nova out every time she has to stay in the bedroom, because every time she's out anywhere else, Nova freaks out. I mean, I guess I would too if there's a random head and I was a dog. Okay, so you're gonna section off the top part of your braid wherever you want it to start. So if I wanted to start my braid up top, closer to the top, then I would, hold on, let me tighten her. I would grab a section from up here, right? But you can't see that, so I grabbed the section closer to the base of her crown to start. Okay, so we're gonna divide off 3 sections, and I'm gonna grab 2 in one hand. Okay, before I do that, this is your 3, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces in your fingers, right? For the majority of braiding, you're gonna use the space between your thumb and your pointer, the space between your pointer and your middle finger, the space between your middle finger and your ring finger. Okay, so you kind of want to get used to just having that as your base grip. Okay, so we start with, I always start with my 2 in my right hand because I'm a righty. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna flip and grab and come back. 1 stitch. You wanna finish 1 stitch, and you don't wanna add hair until you're on your 3rd stitch. So that was my 2nd, okay? So let's backtrack a little bit. 3rd stitch, so let's count. We've got 2 in this hand, 1 in this hand. Flip for 1 and back. Flip for 2 and back. Okay, so that's 2 stitches. So on the next one is where I'm gonna add hair in. So I'm keeping my base close. I'm keeping the knuckles close to the base of the skull. I'm realizing now that her head is probably still too high. Okay, so I'm on my 3rd stitch. I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna grab, because it's this single strand is in my gun finger, my thumb. Then I'm gonna grab it with my middle finger. Okay, so I would be back here, but I'm not gonna flip yet. I'm gonna grab the next strand, the 3rd strand, with my ring finger. 1, 2, 3 spaces. Okay, let's go back and do that again. So I flip, this is my 3rd stitch. I flip my right hand, flip it. I grab with my middle finger, then I grab with my ring finger. Okay, I'm really hoping you guys can see all of this. I moved her head again. Then I take my pointer finger on my right hand and I start way up by her face. And I'm gonna use my finger like a pencil, like a comb, whatever you wanna do, and just draw a line from the start of her skull, wherever you want, or start of her skull, her face, geez. Start of her face, however thick you want that to be. So if I want it to be where her eyebrow is, that would be a pretty big piece. Okay, so I like my pieces kind of thinner normally, depending on the kind of braid. So I just take my finger and along her head, I just draw a line. Okay, when it gets close to the braid, I poke that finger out, grab that hair. Don't worry about how messy it is. So a lot of people are trying to like separate that hair now. Don't worry about that. So let's draw the line again. And you've got your fingers down here, draw the line. Then when I poke my finger through, my ring finger and my pointer finger are gonna become friends, and I'm just gonna drop all that hair into my ring finger and replace my ring finger in that open hole. Then I'm gonna take my hand on the other side and clean up the hair that's in the way and clean this up. So I'm just gonna kind of pull this a little bit tighter, add it back into my ring finger a little bit tighter. Okay, then I'm gonna take my right hand and I'm gonna grab what's in my ring finger again. Grab it. And you can kind of pull. I usually do, but it's fine, you don't have to. Oh my goodness, you guys, you're gonna hate me. I don't know what I was thinking. When you draw your line, backtrack, because I obviously cannot braid slow. Don't add it to your ring finger. Add it to your middle finger. You're adding it to the middle strand. Okay, so let's just backtrack completely to adding that hair in, because I literally just totally brain like, okay. Anyways, moving on. 3rd stitch, Draw your line from the face towards your fingers, but don't add it to your ring finger. Wow, my nails are pretty dirty, huh? Sorry, friends. Okay, you're gonna add it to the middle strand between your pointer finger and your middle finger. So think about your middle finger grabbing for that strand. Place it in the middle. Don't worry about the hair. Swipe it down, clean it up, and then you can grab that single strand in your ring finger. Okay, so you're adding hair to the middle strand, not the outside strand. Oh, sorry, I had a moment. Okay, so I have 2 again and 1 again. So my 2-hand flips, grab it with your middle finger, grab the other strand with your ring finger. Okay, I find her face, I draw my line, I tuck it to my middle finger, I let go, fix the hair on the side. Then I grab the outside strand where it was in my ring finger. Grab that outside strand, and you can pull tight if you want. Notice I'm used to braiding and I'm still getting weird bubbles and things because when you go slower, that's what happens for now. So you have 1, you have 2. Flip the 2, grab it with your middle finger, grab the outside with your ring finger. Trace it from, I'm gonna actually bend down because I feel like my arms are getting in the way. Trace it from her skull, or why do I keep saying skull? Apparently I like that word today. Trace it from her face, back towards the braid, poke your finger out at all, and put it where your middle finger is. So my middle finger and I are becoming friends, and I'm gonna place it on top. Don't kind of just let it fall because it's hair at the end of the day, okay? So I kind of just pushed it in there just to make sure it's all in there. This is all yucky, so I'm just gonna brush it down and away what I don't want in the braid. I'm gonna grab the hair on the outside strand from my ring finger and pull tight, right? I'm not even like moving my hands, I'm just pushing the braid up so that when I twist and flip, right? So what happens here is a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have enough space, so they scoot their hands down. You wanna pull tight so that when you flip, you create more space, okay? So I'm flipping, grabbing with my middle finger, grabbing with my ring finger. When you grab, see how this hair is over here? I gotta put it in my palm before I grab, okay? So I've got 1, 2, 3. Pointer, thumb, let's say middle finger, ring finger. So pointer, middle, ring, okay? Trace it from the front. It's gonna start going to the side because I'm standing on the side of her head. And place it inside the middle strand where your middle finger is. Fix it up, grab it from the outside, ring finger, and pull tight. Flip it, middle finger, ring finger. Trace from her face, add it to the middle finger, fix the hair, grab it from the ring finger, pull tight. Okay, always have that little tug. Don't move your hands, just tug it. Flip, grab with the middle finger. See this flip? I'm not gonna leave it there because then my hair is gonna get all naughty. Put it in the palm. Ring finger, trace it from the face, add it to the middle finger, fix it up, don't make it look ugly. Grab the ring finger again, flip it, grab it with the middle, grab it with the ring, trace, add it to the middle, fix the hair. We're apparently doing a little side braid here because that's where your girl is standing. Okay, grab it from the ring finger, pull tight, flip, grab. So you see, I still kind of have this little, I don't know if you can see it, this little hair that got caught. I'm just gonna pull it out because I don't want it to get naughty, okay? Don't be naughty here, don't be naughty. Trace it to the middle. Just draw straight. It doesn't have to be a super straight line, you guys. It's fine, you won't see it. Take that ring pointer, put it where your middle finger is, lay it on top, fix the hair, grab it, pull tight. Okay, those with short hair, especially, you gotta keep your hands close to the base and you wanna pull tight each time. Flip, grab, trace it, middle strand, middle finger. Grab it from the outside ring finger, pull tight, switch, flip, whatevs. Trace it, add it to the middle finger. If I'm going too fast, you can pause, you can rewind, you can fast forward. Her hair was in a braid, a bubble braid for, probably months before this, and I tried to straighten it, and obviously I missed a whole bunch. Grab it from the ring finger and pull, twist, middle finger, ring finger, trace and pull in to the middle finger, okay? Grab from the ring finger, flip, middle finger, ring finger. So I don't have any more hair on the right side of her head, so I'm going to just skip the flip, skip adding flip, hold please for my ability to talk to return. I am going to skip adding hair on the right side of her head. I'm just gonna stitch it. I'm not gonna add hair. I'm just gonna add hair from the left because we got a little side braid going on, okay? So as I'm holding it, my fingers started to slip. So I'm just gonna kind of pull it tight again. Trace from the left, add to the middle. Just make sure, unless you're doing what I'm about to do right now, every time that you stitch, every time you flip that hand, you're adding hair. Don't skip adding hair, okay? So I'm gonna grab from the ring finger, flip, grab with the middle, grab with the ring finger. I'm still doing that grab so that you guys can see it. Normally, oops, sorry. Normally I wouldn't do that. So I'm gonna grab the ring finger like I normally would, flip, I just didn't stitch, grab the middle, grab with the pointer ring, and then I'm just gonna add all this hair in right here because, well, that was a good size. Okay, so now I'm at the end of my braid. So I have no more hair to pick up on the right or on the left. So I'm just gonna finish with a normal braid. Flip and grab, return, flip and return, flip and return, flip and return, flip, return, flip, return. Yeah. Okay, so takeaways. You really want to keep your fingers or your knuckles as close to the head as you can. You want to pull tight. I mean, you're not knotting a shoelace. Don't think about pulling tight on a shoelace, right? Because you're gonna rip her hair out. I mean, not really, but she probably won't ever let you try on her again because kids don't like getting their hair pulled, okay? So, wow, I'm so easily distracted. Y'all surprised? I'm not. You're gonna flip it. You're gonna add hair, pull tight. Remember to use your pointer, space, space, and space. Okay, really the pinky's just there for looks right now. Okay, so space, 1, 2, 3. When you're adding hair, you're grabbing it with your middle finger and adding it to this space. Okay, and then when you are taking it in your other hand after you've added hair, you're grabbing it from your ring finger space, your Spock space. Okay, we have officially hit the point where your girl is talking nonsense. So if you enjoyed this, I hope you did. I hope you watched the whole thing. If you did, thumbs up to you because, you know, but